Oh, geez. Hey, how's it, everybody? Aloha, this is Geebz. I'll get myself all seated up here. This is Geebz here, your old decomposer here at the Decomposer Lounge. Early in the morning. Can't get the words out. The coffee's halfway drank. And I'm getting ready to light one up here. Listen, check this out. I cannot believe that with just a little over a year, I've only done 2 songs from Metallica, and they were the same one because I did an acoustic version and the rock version of Nothing Else Matters. Then, what ends up happening is, you guys remember yesterday on my channel, I posted that picture of the new puppet that I got, the shark, you can see him back there, that I use for kids' education and children's hospital visits and stuff like that. And I had a bunch of people on my Instagram DM me and saying, dude, come on, you got to do Master of Puppets by Metallica. And I just went, today I was going, God, this is so bizarre and so woefully slacking that I don't have one of the most powerful, classic, memorable rock bands, Metallica, more on this channel. So, in lieu of that, Master of Puppets, Metallica, 1986. I very much look forward to this. The shoulder pain pills are kicking in. And I want to thank you guys, like usual, for your support. The cups of coffee that you guys bought me throughout the year actually helped me to buy, the puppet, the shark puppet, and some other stuff that I've been doing for the kids. So I appreciate that. The link for that, if you want to support me, is down below. Also, if you're just interested in what I do with the kids as a ventriloquist, those links are down below as well. You can also visit me on Patreon. You can also, if you want to check out my headsets, the AKG 240s, the link is all down below. So let's do this. Master of Puppets, Metallica. All right. Okay, so is it me? Because remember, believe it or not, this is a first-time listen for me. Because, if you guys don't know my story, you can find it in some other videos. People say, oh, this is bullshit. How could you have not done this? Trust me, it's a very bizarre reason why I wasn't really dialed into the music throughout the 80s. It's a kind of a sad reason, if you ask me. Anyhow, okay, first of all, let's talk about that trippy rhythm pattern there. I counted what seemed like a 5/4, 5/8-ish thing, but there was this weird element of is there something missing? God, it just almost feels like they're coming in a squeak early and stuff. And then talk about squeak. At times, I felt like the drums were either slightly ahead or behind. Now, I don't know if that's just me being old or anything like that, but just felt that way. The riff and the arrangements is so powerful, but there's 2 things I want to say about that is, I I remember that it's Kurt Hammond, I believe, the lead singer, is also, he's just as powerful, and I think he's probably a lot, from what I've heard, and just what I recognize, kind of like like an underrated, powerful rhythm guitar player. He's the front guy, he's the voice, he's the lead singer. But I've watched a couple of the videos that he's done in the past, and I have listened to some of their music, obviously, in the past, and I come to, it's almost like the Dave Mustaine thing. And I know that's a whole different thing. Remember, I'm not an aficionado on stories and histories and stuff like that, but I know there was something that he was in the band first or whatever. But Dave Mustaine also has that uncanny ability to sing and be able to play the way he plays, and to me, I've always been so jealous of that as a musician, because I can't do that thing that those guys do. But the power of the rhythm playing is so cool. The guitar too. Something else that's really badass about this that I really dig is that when you listen to it, and you do have that hard left-right stereo, not ultra fat. In other words, it's not completely. It doesn't sound like it's completely hard left-right, but nice stereo split. You can kind of hear a little phase work that's going on, and it kind of swings in and out of there. And it kind of gives you the illusion that perhaps there's some kind of chorusing on there, but it's not. It's just the two guitarists. And the bass playing is insane on this. I would have personally loved to have heard the bass shoved up a little more. If you believe that you should have heard the bass shoved up a little more, and put that right now in the comments. Push the bass. All right, let's just go. And and as I'm listening to the vocals too, something that I'm finding out really unique is that it's not all fattened up and juiced up with a bunch of harmonies on this. I mean, it's just all Kurt just killing it with a little bit of delay and stuff like that on the vocals and stuff that make it stand out. And he's also he's sunk in the mix a little more than I would have expected, but maybe that was the way the whole album was engineered. So let me just go back a little bit and fire enough. Wow, I I really dug that spacey piece right there in the middle. That nice change up, and I call this something like this. I call as a passage more than it is a particular change up, because the song is it's almost like 8 minutes and 50 seconds almost, kind of. When you do something like this, it's because generally you want to give a breather or a reset, point to kind of grasp onto something to kind of. They started this whole thing kicking our ass off in the front end of everything, with the riffing and the very unique rhythmical arrangement and stuff like that. And that, like I said, there's that weird thing that just kind of like, it almost feels like they're not completing a measure, but they are. This is it. This song's released. Is what it is. I love the stop-start. I think that's probably one of the most underrated, but some of the most powerful things in certain songs when it's done right, is the silence between these stop-starts and stuff just does something for you. And depending on who you ask, it's an old Miles Davis thing where they say, the real music comes between the space between the notes, which is unique because it adds space, quiet space like that adds to the rhythmic value of the production, at least in my world, the way I break it down. My channel, my world. That's just how I feel about it. But I love the way they get into this little section here. Now, for a second, I thought I was hearing maybe something like, I don't want to say strings, maybe kind of like muted strings in the background that just kind of gave a little bit of ambiance to the first maybe 4 to 6 bars and stuff. And then the harmonic leads are really nice, very well done, very classic metal. I'm thinking like I was kind of pulling all from Allman Brothers, Kansas, that kind of vibe, or melodically, really super nice. But listen to the bass through that. You guys know me about the bass. I'm not a bass player inherently. As a composer, keys, guitar, bass, I play a little bit enough to be dangerous if I've got to do a part on one of my jobs or something. But listen to the bass. The bass is so important in this, and this is why for me, I wish it was just a little bit louder, but listen to that bass playing. It's really keeping the lift and the energy moving forward in what otherwise is a very laid back kind of like I said, it's a reset mode. It's almost like, you're clipping on your buzz of coffee, whatever, and you're just getting to this glide phase, and you got, okay, kind of here I am and stuff. But I'm sure they're probably going to hit us with some more heaviness after this. But I really dug that, and I really think that was a really great decision in the composition, was to, send us down this passage. But it looks like we're about to bounce up on something, so here we go. Right, I want to be coming down when you're hearing that ending, that's for sure. Now, obviously, I don't think that, Master of Puppets was anything that has to do with what I do. I was trying to listen to a little bit of the lyrics. I couldn't quite tell what that is. You guys tell me if I caught like a drug reference or something. I'm not too sure if that has anything to do with it. As we heard at the end there, obviously they did do some overdubs, right? You know, if it's 2 guitars, bass, drums, and vocals and stuff. Very light though, and that's what I really enjoyed about this is that they didn't overdo a lot of overdub stuff. There were a couple things where you can hear it was fattened up a little bit, but that's what recording's all about, right? You get the most badass sound you can during the session, and then of course, you know, you can duplicate it live. I would have loved to have seen this live. For those of you who saw them live perform this and stuff, I'm sure it probably sounded really super badass live. Once again, I got to go up into that little odd time hiccup weird thing going on there, but it was repetitive. So I mean, it's obviously part of the arrangement. It wasn't, you know, some kind of a, you know, faux pas in the session or something. It was obviously purposeful, but it really kept you on. And the other thing that kept me on the edge too is the fact that they did repeat their chunks, you know. So it was really good. I thought that they actually put in you know, that really chill passage where they slowed down and got really clean guitar sound, got really melodic and stuff. And another thing too is that, you know, since I'm new on the journey, you know, and you guys already know that as I go through bands, I'll occasionally listen on my own and stuff, and how unsung a lot of these musicians are strictly as musicians. I mean, we hear them in a band, they sing, you know, they're singers, the whole thing, but when they peel off and do their own things and can glam a little bit as instrumentalists is when you really get to hear also the depth of them as artists, as musicians, as, you know, drummers, guitar players, bass players, you know, et cetera, et cetera. But these repetitive chunks didn't come in your basic, like, 4 bars here, 8 bars here, 4-bar hook, you know, repeat, you know, wash, rinse, repeat kind of vibe. They had these really nice broken down sections that kept leading you through, you know, kind of a menagerie, if you would, as you're kind of falling down their Master of Puppets rabbit hole. So you never could really get settled in on a particular groove and stuff. But I think probably that's what the lyrics has to do with that particular journey and composing it that way. So anyhow, yes, totally not what I really did plan for today, but I'm glad I did this. It actually brought me back to, you know, my days, kind of the tank top cut, you know, Gold's Gym kind of thing with jeans and some high tops and the tongue of the high tops flopping around and shit. I don't know if that was the same era. I had long hair, mullet, and whatever, but it's great to listen to music like this for me too, because it is part of my soundtrack of life. You know, when you get to be up in the years like where I'm at, and you look back at that fondly, all of a sudden you start painting these pictures like, oh man, I remember when I first heard this song, or you know, what was happening in my environment, in my world, where was I, you know, and that's what's really super special about, you know, bands like Metallica, Megadeth, Pantera, Slayer. I don't even think I've ever done any Anthrax. Should I do some Anthrax? What do you guys say about that? If you guys want me to do some Anthrax, leave it in the comments below of which one you want me to do. All right, guys, listen, thank you so much. Thanks for indulging me on this long journey. This is probably a long video, but you know, if you're not doing anything else but going, hey, what's up, sipping on a mason jar while you're on your rocking chair or whatever you're doing, thanks for hanging out. If you want to support me, you want to buy me a cup of coffee, supports me, what I do with the kids. All the links are all down there below. All right, guys, take care. Have a killer day. Wow, New Year's almost here. Wow. Good times ahead of us, I hope. We got everything but looking up now, you know what I mean? As we go into 2022. Get past this COVID thingy and everything. Let's do 2022. All right, guys, take care. Aloha. All right.